Okay, so I was gonna patch all this in, but then once I move the toilet, it starts to get ridiculous. Patching all this, it's just gonna be ugly. And I'm taking out 36 inches here to recess this subfloor. So I'm just gonna remove all of the plywood. We'll just cut all the way along here. My only advice would be to probably get about like a 9-inch blade for your Sawzall. And then you don't want to be just digging all the way down into the joist bay. You want to kind of keep it so you're just cutting it, because there's vent stacks. All the plumbing is mostly up here, but you just don't know if there's any wires or anything kind of tucked somewhere that you don't know. So try to keep your Sawzall away from going deep down into the joist bay. Okay, so when it comes to recessing a pan for a curbless shower, this is another gray area. You have no idea until you really kind of rip things open to see exactly how it's going to work out. So this plumbing is kind of not in the most convenient place, and as you can see, I'm really close to the top, which kind of stinks, but it actually is 3/4 inch below. So what my attempt, or what you need to do, is put some ledger boards and then have plywood in between the joists, so that basically you're going to be even with the top of your joist, and then when you put the 3/4 inch plywood out on your main floor, you're 3/4 inches below the outside floor area. And that's what a lot of these shower pan systems are designed for, because they're only 3/4 inches of a thick. That's how you create the curbless shower. So it doesn't require any modifying of your existing structure. It's just a matter of putting plywood in between your joist. But it can be tricky, because some of the plumbing, you just don't know how it's run or where it's at. And this is definitely one of those scenarios that is going to be difficult to recess this plywood. But typically I usually like to put my outside floor on first to where the edge of my shower is, and then recess the area in the shower. But in this instance, I'm going to recess this whole area, because when I come out 36 inches, I'm right in the middle of where that drain is. So it's going to be very difficult to do anything if you have the outside floor done. So we'll get started on this. Basically, the idea is just taking plywood and making it even with the top of our joist. .23 5/8. So that's going to have to be close enough. We're going to have to trim down the pan a 1/2 inch. So we'll just recenter up when we cut this. But you know, rather than having to recreate this whole thing, and these are 2x8 joists, you're not going to really want to cut a bigger hole for this. So I honestly couldn't even move this over that way, because then you would have basically like a 4-inch hole. So we're going to have to kind of stick with what we have here. But that's pretty close. I mean, definitely got the 18, And then we're just slightly closer to this wall, but not by much, not enough to make a difference. So let's go ahead and glue this in place. So on this, since we need a catcher here, we're gonna need something here for our plywood that can be caught. What I normally like to do is just put a flat 2x4 in here and screw some screws into it to catch it. So let's first cut a stud. And I got some 3-inch deck screws. So this is just a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm just using this as a gauge to go over my 2x4 to make sure it's recessed down well enough. So you just want to use this as guidance to be even with your joist. But I definitely recommend, now I'm not going to be able to nail this way because I don't have any room, so I'm going to screw it again. But I would recommend definitely using some liquid nail on this though. So we'll just fit this in here. Use this as our guide. So just make sure that that's even on both sides. Now, this is also a good time to check if your joists are level, because everything's going to require the floor to be level in order for that pan to work correctly. So if it's off, definitely double check that. You know, and then you can adjust accordingly. Okay, so this is a common area that once you tear out the plywood, you got to get some kind of catcher here. And I would recommend trying to get underneath to the joist. So measure we're just going to do some 2x6s. So 14 3/4. Works out perfectly there. So then this will go in after tile. So I hope this demonstrations give you a little bit of insight in some of the challenges that you might have by recessing the area of your shower for a curbless shower. But as you can see, this is really our end goal. This is what we want. We want to have a nice flush, even surface with the outside floor so that we can produce a nice waterproof shower system. So be sure to subscribe because I have a lot more videos coming out on this particular shower. And if you have any questions, leave your comments below. Thanks so much.